Bonjour and welcome to episode 2 of Living a French Life.
Woohoo!
On today's episode, we're going to handle one of the big four. The big four are the 4 major items we have to do before we can move into the house. And they include the structural things we talked about last week, the electric, the fosse septique, and hooking up to the municipal water supply.
Our focus so far has been on what the house needs, but we have to also think about what our wants and desires are so we can make good decisions, such as how many bathrooms will there be? Will there be a shower and a bathtub? What are we going to do with this very large fireplace here? And of course, when is the heat going on?
Of course, the house projects are taking center stage right now, but
Because those nails are not going to pull themselves.
that's true. But we can't forget why we moved to France in the first place. It's the beautiful villages that are right on our doorstep, the people, the cultural events. And so we're going to, in our second segment, head on down to Cajarc and the annual Saffron Festival.
Let's go.
Ah oui. Ah oui.
Right, so we've had to go down about 1 meter because that's down below the frost level, just in case, because it does sometimes freeze here. And we have found the little black pipe. Come on over here.
And voila. There's water down there. That's a beautiful thing. You know why that's a beautiful thing? That's one step closer to an indoor plumbing.
And now we're getting the trench. The pipe connects to the water main. Then going down. As you can see, we're getting tons of medium-sized rocks here. It looks like maybe a couple of big ones too.
So now he's digging around the large pipe in order to put in a connector that'll bring water to the house. Another step closer to indoor plumbing.
Yes.
What's he doing?
The video it's for the White House.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
See, remember the little pressure connector we had for the water filters under the sink, where it had the needle valve, and you went in there and it pierced the pipe under the sink for the water filter.
Ah, vaguely. Look at that. Wow. When in doubt, hit it with a hammer.
Right? He's got it touching the pipe.
Je me dis si je tombe peu de. Là ça va, jusque là.
Je fais rien maintenant, il faut pas besoin de couper l'eau, rien.
Ah ouais.
You know.
Faut pomper.
Parce que j'ai pensé. Ce matin, je me
Ça c'est bien gros, ça quand même.
Déjà la longueur que tu as là de la marque que tu dis là, on ne passera pas le tuyau là-bas de
C'est
l'autre
good
côté.
precaution.
Non,
Il
non,
ne faut
non.
pas aller percer l'autre côté du tuyau là. Faut travailler.
Geyser.
Okay, oh dear.
Yes.
Cool.
Je sais le mot.
Je sais le mot.
I'm gonna...
Ah, c'est pas si ça me change, mais c'est sûr, oui.
Certainement.
C'est normal.
Et puis, là quand tu vas faire un manchement, tu pars pas en reculant. Et là,
Ah oui,
ça commence.
Ça y est.
Ah oui, ah oui.
Non, pas encore.
ça boue.
Wow.
Success.
How ingenious.
That black pipe over there is gonna be laid down in here, connected to our new connection to the main. Gonna follow in through this trench and into that bucket over there. And that's just a compression fitting like you would get under your sink.
Merde, j'ai reposé là. C'est encore ça. Allez.
Faut jamais there. I think I gathered what they're doing here. So now, we're going to put a little bit of dirt in there to hold the pipe in place, so that we can make the connection over here by the house.
Hey.
Now the pipe will pretty much stay where it's supposed to be. So this blue netting is kind of a protective measure. After you fill in the dirt somewhere, then you put that netting down, and then if somebody is digging and they dig down and they see the blue netting, they know, hey, there's a water line over here, I better stop. The valve will remain dirt-free. So he's continuing to compact this soil down because as he fills in the hole, he wants to make sure that no dirt is left to pass up on top of the driveway. Must be good neighbors. Here comes the water meter. Okay. Now we're getting serious about moving the earth back into the hole. You switch to the larger bucket. He's doing his best to scrape off the driveway there. And while I wasn't paying attention, they finished it up. Right here you got the nice little cap over the hole where the valve is, so you can turn off all the water to the house. They smoothed out the ground somewhat, so now we got to plant a little grass seed. Maurice is going to take care of that. He is the expert when it comes to all things plant. Here's our box, which has the meter inside it, and that is, we will attach our pipe that'll go into the supply for the house. It'll go through there, into the wall, into the cave. It's a beautiful fall day here in Southwest France.
And we're in Cajarc for their annual Saffron Festival.
The small town of Cajarc is located along a scenic stretch of the Lot River between Cahors and Figeac in the heart of the Lot Valley. This quaint town has been occupied since Roman times, with the village we now see dating from the 12th century onwards. The historic center is tucked inside by a wide boulevard that encircles the town, showing us the position of the original defensive walls. Medieval houses nestle into Renaissance architecture. Meander along the cobblestone streets and enjoy the town's charm. In the center of Cajarc, the Place de l'Église is a particularly picturesque small square with shady trees and several historical buildings around the edges, including the 13th century church. Medieval Cajarc prospered due to its port on the river and being the center for a prized spice, Cajarc Saffron. Here in the Cajarc region, conditions are perfect for this Persian flower. By the end of the 20th century, saffron was highly prized again as French chefs renewed their interest in the spice. 200,000 flowers are needed to make just 1 kilo of saffron. Each flower provides just 3 stamens. You can understand why this very high-end spice with extraordinary taste is called red gold. As soon as cooler October temperatures coax the purple crocus flower to bloom, Cajarc kicks off the Fête du Saffron. You can visit local saffron farms, tour the regular Saturday market now filled with all things saffron, including cheeses that have been infused, biscuits, cookies, honey, and even delicious liqueurs. A kilo of Cajarc saffron might set you back 45,000 euros. Not to worry. You can purchase a tiny amount from the growers, about $10 for 0.1 gram or approximately 45 stamens. I counted. Surprisingly, you only need a few to make a difference in a recipe. I archived my last weekly Voila, my newsletter that I put out to clients, with my recipe for a simple Biscuit Sablé au Saffron on our website. Be sure to check it out. And there's more you can find in Cajarc besides saffron. You can shop the wonderful little boutiques, the boulangerie, shops that carry local products, and there's a fabulous little brocante shop tucked behind and off the street. It's one of my favorites, and I always leave with at least one treasure.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. In our next episode, we're going to talk about what's driving our decisions in our renovation. Restoration?
Is it a renovation or restoration?
We'll better discuss that too.
And how are we going to balance the things that we desire or wants with the need to stay on budget?
So, like, subscribe, do all the things you're supposed to do on YouTube, and we'll see you next time on Living a French Life.
À tout à l'heure.
Worry no more, my friends, no. Lay down your hurts and pain, 'cause it's a new day.
That might be a future.
No!